Hi, my name is Bridget Lang. I am a senior French and political science double major from here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Growing up, I heard the many fun, wild stories that my sisters would tell about their college experiences, and most of them centered around parties and the super fun times that they would have with the group of friends that they would go to the parties with. So coming into college, I thought that that is what the social scene would be, that I would constantly be going to parties, that I would make most of my friends at parties. The thing that I didn't get from my sisters, that I didn't quite understand, is that the friends that they came to those parties with and had those fun times with were actually people that they had met outside of the college party scene. So I came in with a very skewed perspective freshman year, thinking that college was going to be one thing and kind of finding out it was completely different. And that was pretty hard on me. I was pretty dissatisfied with how my freshman year was going at first. I thought, I'm not living college up to the fullest extent. I'm not really getting that college experience that I really wanted and that social atmosphere that I was craving. But as I progressed and I kind of did more fun things with the girls on my floor and with the friends that I made throughout college and became more involved, I got that social atmosphere that I was craving, and it really kind of completely did a 180 on my perspective and how I approached the party scene. We would go to concerts together, we would go to movies downtown together, we would go to campus nightlife events or speakers that the university brought in. We would go get dinner on East Campus together, we'd watch Gossip Girl in our rooms together, we would just sit and play board games. We'd have so much fun, and most of the time, it didn't really bug me that I wasn't going to parties. Also right before freshman year started, I sat down with my parents and we had a discussion about alcohol consumption, and they explained to me that drinking underage is illegal. You have to be 21 to legally consume alcohol, but they understood that it was my decision, and so while they didn't encourage it, they wanted to make sure that if I was going to be drinking, I was going to be drinking safely. So they went over some very basic but very, very essential drinking tips if I was going to be consuming alcohol. So those included reminding me that Nebraska is a dry campus. They both went to Nebraska for their undergraduate degrees, and so they already know that Nebraska is a dry campus, and they made sure that that was drilled into me, that I could not have alcohol in my room or in my body on campus. So that I came in with that expectation, but they also told me that always to make sure to never leave my drink unattended at a party, always to make sure to watch whoever was pouring it, or in any case that I could, pour it myself. If you go to a party, you always go with the people that you came to the party with, and you leave with them as well. Never leave somebody behind, and always kind of take care of each other. Make sure that none of you are drinking too much or in a situation that makes you uncomfortable. Something that I learned my freshman year was to have a code word with some of my friends, that when we were in an uncomfortable situation and we didn't want to talk about it, made us feel like we couldn't talk about it or something, we would say the code word or hint at it, and we'd all kind of get out of there. That was kind of our unspoken rule. One other thing that they really, really stressed for me was to make sure that I had a designated driver. This is a person who's completely sober and who is able and willing to drive you there and back from the party or whatever social situation you're going to. This is really important to make sure that you figure this out before you go to a party instead of during or after, because oftentimes if you have been consuming alcohol, your judgment can be impaired, you can make rash decisions, and that really can hinder your ability to decide if your designated driver is actually sober or not. If for some reason your designated driver is not sober anymore, for some reason they decide to start drinking, or if some emergency occurs and your designated driver leaves and you're left at the party, you can call a service that Nebraska offers. It's called 475 Ride, and it's basically a taxi service that will get you from wherever you are at back to your home safely. And this is only to be used in cases of emergency. That's very important to remember. It's not something that you should be taking lightly or using as your designated driver. And also, in addition to this, my parents reminded me of the Good Samaritan law, which is a law in Nebraska which says that if somebody near you that you've noticed has had too much to drink to the point where they could really hurt themselves or someone else, or if they're in a very, very unsafe situation or they're not responsive, if you call the police and you stay on the scene and you're there and cooperate with the officials that come to help, you will not be punished for being around them, even if you have consumed alcohol yourself. And the third thing is to remember that you are here for your academics. The social scene is so fun. I have so much fun hanging out with my friends and going to parties and everything like that, but never let it get out of balance with your academics, because that is what you're here for.